Hey everybody, Alex Kazor, SteelersDepot.com, back for another Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, through 2 weeks, small sample size, I know, but they have the best run defense in football in terms of yards per game, and I believe are tied for first in yards per carry allowed, and have yet to allow a rushing touchdown this season. One secret to that is their ability to stunt in the run game. And usually when we talk about stunts, think about stunts, we're talking about that in the passing game on some of the twists and blitzes and confusion, potential chaos that creates up front for an offensive line. But the same can apply for a run game. So three examples of that about how the Steelers use run stunts versus two back sets and use them very effectively Sunday against the Denver Broncos. A stunt in the run game is just like a stunt in the pass game, with two players exchanging gaps to try to confuse and mess with the protection, or in this case, the run scheme, the run blocking scheme of an offensive line. So this is early first quarter against the Denver Broncos. The stunt's going to occur here between Cam Hayward and Tyson Alulu, the nose tackle. Hayward is going to slant down into the A gap here, and Alulu is going to loop over and replace in the B gap. And Denver's running this lead play, which is just kind of a standard man blocking scheme with the fullback, number 83, here for Denver. And it should be just the left guard on Hayward, the center Cushionberry, the rookie on Alulu, and the fullback fitting up on Vince Williams, the linebacker here in the A gap in this basically like 10-20 technique as the off ball linebacker. But because of the stunt, it totally wrecks and messes with the blocking scheme. So let me run this thing through, and we'll see Hayward slanting down into the A gap, Alulu looping over into the B gap, and how much that throws off the blocking scheme here for Denver. And Hayward's going to shoot down. Alulu's going to replace over the top. Now the left guard, which is trying to go down to his left on this track, is trying to come back to block Hayward, who's going to get penetration. And Cushionberry really can't make this block against Alulu, who's now looping over the top into the B gap, and that forces the fullback 83, who again should be fitting on the linebacker Vince Williams, is now up against Olulu, the nose tackle. A clear win for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this run goes nowhere. So running this thing full, it's a loss on the play, and just a good quick little twist between Hayward and Olulu to get penetration, to confuse the offensive lineman, to change the track of their run blocking, and ultimately records a tackle for a loss. So one last look at it frame by frame. Again, Hayward shooting down into that gap. Now the left guard has to try to block back on this one, and that's going to throw a monkey wrench into the scheme. A looping over the top. Cushionberry no longer can make that block. Now 83. The fullback is trying to fit up on Alulu. No chance there. Get penetration. Gordon's got to go east-west instead of north-south. And Alulu, Vince Williams, others converge, and it's a 2-yard loss. So one last look at it, and we'll move on to the next play. Third quarter, Denver running this gap scheme with the left guard pulling, two back set. The Steelers are going to run stunt against it. All their run stunts seem to come against two back sets as one of their checks against it for whatever reason. I'll put in an animation of what this stunt is. I should have explained that for the last clip. Hopefully, I edited it in, and it'll be Hayward slanting into the A gap and a Lulu looping over the top right here. So let me go ahead and throw that animation in. All right, so let me run this thing through. Hayward's going to slant into the A gap. Alulu's going to loop over the top. And Hayward's going to get penetration here, force Gordon to slow up. Tua gets free and make the tackle for just a 1 yard gain. And again, on this gap scheme, because the left guard's pulling, the center has to replace on this back block. And had Hayward been just playing his B gap like normal, or not slanting into that gap as hard as he did, it'd be an easy block for Cushionberry to make. But because Hayward is now slanting down, that back block's a lot tougher to make. Hayward's getting penetration, blows up this play, and Gordon has nowhere to go. So nice, quick, effective, violent run stunt to confuse the offensive line, to mess with the run blocking scheme, and to make this run only go for a yard. And finally, late third quarter against the Broncos, same run stunt again against a two back set. Two this time is going to shoot into the B gap. Alulu's going to loop over the top and scrape here. Let me go ahead and throw the animation of what this one's going to look like. and go ahead and run this thing for you guys. And that you probably have a pretty good idea of what this thing looks like. And again, the offensive line trying to adjust on the fly to the nose tackle scraping over the top and now becoming the contained player. And again, Cushionberry is supposed to have this block on him, but can't make it as Lulu gets width and becomes the contained player. You got the right tackle coming down onto it in the big gap. Nice job by Tuitt to command and demand the double team there. And Alulu's now free. And again, the fullback, number 83, who's supposed to be fitting up on a linebacker, working at the second level, is now facing the nose tackle. And that forces Gordon to have to cut this one back up field and get guys free. Now Vince Williams is free. Devin Bush comes in backside, makes a tackle, and the run essentially goes nowhere. So, like these little wrinkles, I had a video a few months ago on why Daniel McCullers, now with the Bears, by the way, cannot be the Steelers nose tackle because if the Steelers want to be able to run these run stunts and have an athletic nose tackle who can scrape and replace and shoot gaps and just be part of this kind of organized chaos, then you need someone who can be a functional athlete, and Alulu is, and you see that on display in all three of these clips. And I like this little wrinkle. It's against two back sets. Obviously, most teams won't use a fullback or use a fullback a whole lot, but I do like the idea. It's just kind of a different element to playing run defense. And this is certainly not your grandpa's stick LeBeau two gapping scheme anymore. We're seeing a lot of one gapping, seeing a lot of run stunts, and a lot of chaos while still having a really strong run defense overall. So, wanted to bring that to you guys today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.